Okay, well, I got 1905, and normally the net will run with somebody else besides me. But in any event, I know that there's a lot of people listening out there, and I will just proceed as normal and just remind everybody that this net normally runs on a Sunday evening from 1900 till approximately 2000. The net is in actual fact designed specifically for radio amateurs who do have an interest in MCOM or emergency communications. However, I open Zoom up and I allow other people to join as well. But I think with this load shedding, a lot of areas are out, so the other regulars are not actually coming in. And as more and more load shedding as expected, I was actually not going to have a very long net tonight, especially seeing as our power is going off again at 2000 tonight until 10, and then we go off tomorrow morning from 0400 until 06:30. So that being said, I'd just like to remind those that are listening out there, you do not need to be a member of any group, body, entity, party, or otherwise. The only thing you need to join this net and to use the radio amateur bands, of course, is a paid-up e-parcel license. That's the only thing you need, despite what others might say, think, feel, or attempt to implement. So this week I was only going to be covering basically the South African COVID-19 figures, which really and truly have become a lot lower. And I think starting with the Sunday figures, we had 505 new cases with 4 that lost their lives. Then Monday 212 with 9 loss of life. And when was this? This one was the 29th, Thursday, 443 cases with 19 deaths reported. Then again, 399 on 30 June. That day was with 29. Now, why did it sound like those were two? It was 29 and 30 June. And then the 1st of July, 380 and 16 deaths. 2nd of July, of course, 842 cases. I think that was the highest number of the week. And that being said, we don't have much else to say with regards to South Africa's figures. The number of cases that the number of tests conducted, unfortunately, they're not actually releasing those figures again. So it's actually a bit difficult to establish the positivity rate. Let me clear the timeout timer. Okay, so the 6IP is returning, and it's a bit difficult to establish the positivity rate based on the way that they're providing the reporting at this moment in time. Now, when I look at the figures on a global aspect, this week we 548,972, 972,342. We are only up about 5 million. However, that there is already 2 million more than the previous week's average. So globally, even though, COVID-19 seems to be slowing down, the numbers are still pretty high. And again, South Africa, the mask removal and all the other restrictions and regulations have in actual fact been lifted and repealed. So that being said, I think I'm going to close the net off. What I will do is I'll check to see if there's any late check-ins. If not, look, this is purely broadcasting. Whether people join or not, it's irrelevant. The net will continue on a weekly basis. Zoom will be open on a weekly basis. So I'll do a call for late check-ins. Then I'm going to be closing the net purely because of the fact that there is really nothing else to report on this week as a whole, except to say that monkeypox, the second case of monkeypox has been detected. And of course, the World Health Organization is in this 21-day sort of wait and see period where they're gathering data, and the technical teams are getting together and meeting on committees and whatever, and the discussions have been held as a result of the high number of cases reported worldwide, especially in the countries that suddenly have appeared that have never had monkeypox in the past. Okay, so let's see. Any further check-ins, late check-ins, ZS6 IPS standing by? Okay, nothing heard. On that note, I'm going to say, look, guys, even though you don't need to wear a mask if you feel it's necessary or if you're at high risk or going to be around those in particular that are, in a high risk sort of category, perhaps you could be considered to wear a mask still on a daily basis, regularly throughout the day. Please still sanitize your hands and, of course, physically distance yourself if at all possible. And then for the next week, be safe, be prepared, and of course, be happy. ZS6 IPS releasing 145.625 for general use. Cheers all.